On this episode, parkour and getting rid of filler. Hey everybody, this is The Quarter Show, and today we're talking about parkour and getting rid of filler. We talk about, I love parkour, I've watched it, I don't personally do it, I am a runner, but eventually I'll probably take it up. But one thing I love about parkour is what it stands for. And apparently the essential idea of parkour is the most efficient route from A to B. And that's essentially what you're doing. So when you're running over obstacles and you're running through, the urban jungle or whatever, you're trying to take the most efficient route from A to B. So if there's a wall that's in your way, you would just jump over that wall. You would just flip over the wall as opposed to running around that wall. And I find that analogy or that concept very relevant to sales. And I think that a lot of people do things other than the most efficient route from A to B, and they get sort of splattered all over the organization or all over their day, and they're not going direct from A to B to get something done. They're sort of all over the place, and it's not the way to go. When you're looking at selling, you've got to figure out what is the most efficient route from A to B, where do you need to go, what's the next play, how do you get there, and then map out what you're going to do and then go do it. And sometimes that means that a cycle may end up with you were with somebody, you had a contact, and now it's over with, let's say the whoever, CEO, CFO, whoever. But whatever that most efficient route from A to B, in order to get it done, you need to go do. You need to go completely parkour on that thing. And the truth is that a lot of people, they have back off and they move into the state of kind of like waiting, like they're waiting for the action to take place on the prospect side for something to happen before they do something. So they're like, well, it's with legal. And in their mind, they're thinking, I'm going to wait till legal gets something done, and they reach out to me or something like that happens, and then I'm going to go take action. And it doesn't work that way. You have to be forwarding every motion, and you have to be the one that's in motion and working on a most efficient route. And so that may also mean that you're stuck with somebody, you're working with somebody that is a VIA, right? And has to go through someone else, or has to get approval here, or has to jump through the hoops internally, when really this person over here is the person that has to sign off on it, and you're down here with this person still hanging on to this person when you should be here, because the most efficient route from where you are is going directly to this person, right? That's the most efficient route from A to B, right? And despite people's feathers being ruffled, or if somebody is like, well, you went around me or something like that, you need to also be able to figure out how to tactfully handle that while doing what I just said. While getting to the right person, you have to tactfully figure out how to navigate your way through the organization, or go around people and communicate that to them without completely blowing things sky high.
And that's a key point, is being able to handle each individual and respectfully, and allowing, granting them the beingness of who they are and the posts they have. At the same time, I think pretty much all of us have a sense that the machinery of business has been made overcomplicated.
Yeah.
There are a lot. It's not that jobs are superfluous or something like this necessarily, but to a degree, many things are. The fact that with some companies, with some multi-billion-dollar companies, it doesn't have to go to legal. And with some multi-billion or less companies, oh yes, legal must check it over. And legal spends days checking something over. Like one of our proposals is so not rocket science. It's so uncomplicated that it takes a person in legal 5 minutes to look it over, and then they're like...
It's a stall. It's a stall tactic. It's a form of stalling.
And so there's all this complication that's been built up, and it leads to sheer untruth. None of this stuff, it's all fluff, it's all filler. And so you do have to, and this is not just sales. This is like for the marketing person who wants to get their program executed, who wants budget for it. They have to go through certain hoops to get things done. It's like walking this. It's not a fine line or a tight wire necessarily, but it's between the complicated machinery of business that really is just man-woman made and is not real, And on the other hand, going directly to a human being, hey, I'm going to do this thing. Oh, really? You want me to do it? You want me to do it too? Yeah, I do. Well, are there some good reasons? Yeah, here they are. Oh, that sounds good. Let's do it. That's how simple nearly everything actually is. And we have overcomplicated to a massive, massive degree. So in your parkour activities, whether you're trying to get your marketing programs executed or trying to get your engineering systems approved by somebody else or get your sales done, you have to as confidently, as peacefully, and as directly as possible, just cut out all that stuff.
Yeah, step up your parkour game, step up your direct game, step up your sort of confront game to go to the exact right people. And we talk about filler as well. Ben touched on the idea of filler. And the thing I want to say there is, so you have parkour going the most efficient route from A to B, and then you have what we call filler, which is fear, procrastination, what we call Q&A, question and answer. Prospects kind of like, oh, I don't know, or foot shuffling, or however you want to phrase it. But there's a lot of foot shuffling on their side and on your side, right? So when you look at your selling day, if you cut out all this consideration, which is this thinking of, I think they're doing this, I think they're probably doing this, and you're inventing stories for them. You're procrastinating. I'll call them later. I'll call them in about an hour because I think the time zone, because they're West Coast time. Nobody cares what time they are. Just call them, leave them a voicemail. Call them at 2 a.m. if you have to. Okay, leave a voicemail. Be the first voicemail they get, right? If they're not in the office and up by now, people tell me this sometimes. They're in London. Then it's guaranteed that you're going to get voicemail. So call and leave a voicemail. But your day has procrastination, Q&A, foot shuffle, considerations, right? And all this, making up stories and everything like that. And it's just filler. It's just filler. Get rid of it. You cut out all that filler. And you took that parkour route of I'm going to go most efficient route from A to B, you're going to get way more done. And I believe wholeheartedly that you could get more done in 2 hours. If you went completely parkour, you could get more done in 2 hours in your selling day than a lot of people get done in 8 hours. I would wager that 6 hours of most salespeople's day, most even entrepreneurs' day, most business people's day, a lot of people are guilty of this. 6 hours of your day is probably fluff, filler. You just don't realize it. Right? You get distracted, you're doing different things, you're sort of, I don't know, I'm calling, oh geez, what did he mean by that? All these different things that go on, it's filler. Get rid of it. Get rid of it entirely, and then take the 6 or 8 hours or whatever and go completely parkour. What's next? Take the most efficient route from A to B, and you'll have a huge day. You'll have a hugely productive day. Right? And just don't even allow the other stuff to get in. Just understand, label it filler, as long as you're aware of it. If you're aware of it, then you can label it. You can label it filler, and once you've labeled it and you're aware of it, you can get rid of it.
Yeah, this funny thing happens when you start to look at stuff like this, when you start to examine it, is any person anywhere does this immediately. They think, I should do this, and then there's reasons they don't, and the reasons just come to mind. It's just justified thought. Right, a person just has they're just natural, just has thoughts that justify why this and that thing. Why I can't talk to Bob right now, why he might be in a bad mood, why Sally might turn down my proposal,
why they haven't called me back.
And this is not just in sales, this is so thoroughly entrenched in everything having to do with sales and marketing that it's wild, and it's too bad. And life. So you just cut out the reasons. I can make my body do almost anything. I can go up to Robert and ask and make my mouth move to tell him something or to ask him a question. Any time of any day, I can make myself do something.
Yeah.
And so when you start coming up with reasons why not, that's the red flag.
Yeah.
As to you go, wait, what?
It's filler.
Okay, I have a lot of reasons why Kim at this certain company might not want to talk or whatever. I mean, she might not be ready. She might not want to talk to me.
It's not the right quarter.
She's so tense on the phone when I talk to her.
Yeah.
She's so tense. Call her right now.
Pick up the phone, call. And a lot of this is invented by you, by the way. A lot of it might have nothing to do with Kim, right? It might have everything to do with you,
Yeah.
right? And that's a hard thing to own. A lot of people have a really hard time digesting that and owning that. And I get it. I get it. But the more you can completely own that, the more you can be aware of it. First step is being aware of it.
Yeah.
And then just taking complete extreme ownership for it. And then from there, it's like, don't let it own you. Understand its filler. Understand when you look at the, you're like, oh, I don't want to call, Jim said last time he's going to be out of the office. He's traveling right now, so it better not call. Like, understand, label it filler, get it out of the way, go parkour, right? Most efficient route from A to B. Go, good, what do I need to do to get this done? If there was none of this filler, none of this nonsense, what would I need to do to get it done? What would actually need to happen in order to get it done? What would need to happen? If I didn't have to worry about protocol or anything, what would I actually do? Oh, that's easy. I would call Tom. Who's Tom? Tom is like the one guy above Jim that has to get approval from such and such and such. Good, there's your action. Call Tom. Now.
It's really simple.
Okay?
And that's the crazy thing. That's why it kind of hurts.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Yeah. So look, hopefully that helps. Operate parkour, most efficient route from A to B, and cut out the filler. Get rid of it. Okay? It's gonna change your day. It'll change your selling day. It'll change what you're doing. It's very, very, very important. If you have any questions on it, of course, leave a comment for us, and we're happy to answer those different questions, or hit us up on Twitter. And make sure to subscribe to the show if you haven't already. And we definitely appreciate you watching. Okay? We'll have more coming at you soon.